This is the book of Romans chapter 9 verse 6. Not as though the word of the Most High had taken an effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. First and foremost, I would like to say, Kala Yahba Shem Yahshai, Bashem Kakadash, the ones to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole flag. Tell you brothers out to pushing the word in truth and sincerity. So I'm going to tell you brothers, stay strong, pushing this quick lesson. And I want to get into the nation of Israel, which as a whole, of course, the Lord created us to be his people, but the Lord during this time, he's actually separated, certain Israelites from other Israelites. Okay, which you have the 144,000 and the 1/3, which that's whom the Lord is concerned with. That's who the Lord is going to save, which is a remnant. The ones that the Lord is looking out after. But then you have the 2/3, which the 2/3 of Israel, those are the ones that are going to be destroyed. Okay, so in this particular scripture, when it says, "For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel," they might be Israelites, right, by nationality, but they're not really Israel. Okay, they're not really Israelites. Why? Because they don't want to come to the realization that they're Israelites. They don't want to come back to their nationality, to their heritage. Okay, because we tell them, look, you're an Israelite of whatever respective tribe you come from, right? Whatever nation you come from, right? Okay, so if you're so-called African, or the so-called Negro, African American, whatever you want to call it, then you're from the tribe of Judah. If you're so-called Puerto Rican, you're from the tribe of Ephraim. If you're from the tribe of Issachar, if you're so-called Mexican, you're from the tribe of Issachar, right? But when we tell them that, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen to it. So they fan their hands at us, and they don't want to take it in. So that's a 2/3. So you know what? That's why we call them, we don't call them Israelites. Shit, we call them niggas and spics and wetbags and Uncle Tom. We call them all that because that's what they are. Okay, because they don't want to come to follow Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They don't want to come to the truth. So they might be Israel, but they're not really Israel. If it's pretty, you get it, right? So once again, Romans chapter 9 verse 6, for not as though the word of the Most High had taken an effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. Exactly, because there's you have Israel, but then like the scripture says, there's as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get it, which is in the book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 16, and it says, "And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be unto them and mercy, and upon the Israel of the Most High." Exactly, so you have Israel, but then you have the Israel of the Most High. And what did I mention, in the beginning of this lesson? You have the 144,000 and the 1/3. Those are the Israelites of the Most High. Okay, those are the ones who the Lord is looking out after. But then on the other hand, you have the 2/3 of Israel, which they are Israel, but not really. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, because to me it makes sense, right? But to other people it might not make sense. Oh, what do you mean they're Israel, but they're not really Israel? Okay, I mean, if the Spirit is dealing with you, you're going to understand what that means. Okay, so once again, Galatians chapter 6 verse 16, "And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be unto them, and mercy and upon the Israel of the Most High." Exactly, so this is the Israelites that the Lord is looking out after. Okay, the Israel of the Most High. Other than that, the 2/3, fuck them, they're going to be destroyed. The Most High, he doesn't care about them. Okay, right now. Now, when they get put to death and they come back, which is they come back in the reincarnation, which is biblical as well. They're going to come back in the right spirit as our children. Okay, Lord willing, I'm one of those men, the hopeful elect. Okay, and then they're going to be in the right spirit. Okay, then they're going to be the Israel of the Most High. But until then, they're part of the 2/3. Okay, and why is that? Hold on, let me explain why is that. Because these people, they're not right. Okay, like I said, we tell them they're Israel, but they don't want to abide by it. They don't want to come back to their heritage. Okay, so that's why it's like, fuck them. Not only that, but they're wicked too. Okay, they're just as bad as the heathen. They're just as bad as Esau, man. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get the book of Jeremiah. Okay, there's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 28, and it says, "They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy they do not judge." This is talking about Israel. Okay, that's talking about the 2/3. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau. So of course the Most High ain't gonna want to be dealing with these people, even though they're Israel, but they're part of the 2/3 because they overpass the deeds of the wicked, man. They're worse than the Edomites. Okay, so that should tell you everything. If you're worse than an Edomite, man, you're a real piece of shit. Your ass should really get put to death, man, with the quickness, right? So that's why the Lord ain't dealing with all of Israel, man. And then you have some dumbasses out there that actually want to save the whole nation of Israel, man. They're looking out for the grimiest of grimy motherfuckers out there. You know, some straight gangbanging dudes, and they still have that mentality, and they want to join the camp or whatever, and they want to be teaching the truth, but they're still in that worldly mindset. They're still in that 2/3 mentality, right? So I mean, man, come on, man. The Lord he ain't dealing with those type of dudes, man, or even women that want to come into the truth, but they still have that home mentality. They still have that feminist mentality. Come on, man. The Lord ain't dealing with you. Okay. So that's why the Lord, he ain't coming to save everybody, man. That's one thing about it too, man. A lot of these camps out here, besides the Apostle Graham Nelson on down, you know, and the brothers I learned from them, all these other camps, they really want to save all of Israel. They want to save the 2/3 because they are part of the 2/3, right? That's really about it, man. They want to save the 2/3 because they are part of the 2/3. Okay, that's why they have that mindset. So now let me go ahead and get the book of there's a book of Matthew chapter 18 verse 17, and it says, and if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican. And this is exactly what we had to do back in the ancient times, even today. Okay, if a Jake doesn't want to listen to us, or he doesn't believe in it, that he's an Israelite, so on and so forth, he doesn't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we gotta cast him out as a heathen. Okay, if you want to be like that, then you're gonna be treated like a heathen. And you already know what the Lord thinks about the heathen, right? They are less than nothing. They are like unto spittle. Okay, they are nothing unto the Lord, man. So guess what? If you want to be like a heathen, you're gonna be treated like a heathen. The Lord, he's gonna look at you like a piece of shit, like nothing, like spittle, meaning spit. All right. And I'll end it with this one, which is a 2/3 scripture. All right, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8, and it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Exactly, because 2/3 of Israel is going to be cut off, meaning they're going to be put to death, like it says here. And you know, they shall be cut off and die. Okay, here in America, but the third, which is the 1/3 that the Lord is dealing with, you know, besides 144,000, but the third shall be left there, meaning they're going to be saved, they're going to be delivered by Yahushua. Okay, and that's the Israel of the Most High. Okay, the 144,000 and the 1/3. Okay, but anyways, with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until next time, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I'm say shalom.